much. Your promo code for November is GRAVY. If you're going to shop at CLE Clothing Company, then you can use GRAVY, and you can get 20% off whatever you get there. They've got all the classic Buzzard merch. They're always dropping new items over at CLE Clothing Company, never resting on their laurels, as it were. So if you do your shopping online, you can use GRAVY for your promo code. And if you shop in one of their stores, the flagship's right around the corner from us. Go in there all the time. I'll whisper GRAVY into the air. Well, spooky in October. I haven't had an opportunity to get in there for GRAVY, but I'll whisper whatever the promo code is into the air. So that way, maybe by osmosis, people will hear it. And then they'll know. But I'm telling you because people have asked me that it's GRAVY. So anyway, Cavs Knicks tonight in New York. If you are watching the show live today, tip of the cap to
what?
Jockey Didariamp.
There you go.
Jockey Didariamp is who's helping out on the live stream today. If you listen on iHeartRadio, you can always leave messages for us as well with a little talkback button there.
Hey, Alan, this is Dave from Menor. So I'm always worried about calling in, with a topic to talk about. But then you got Dick that calls in and just talks about whatever the hell he wants. Way off subject. Doesn't even matter. So I'm a little less worried. Maybe I should just call in and start talking about random sports games and, Love me, hate y'all, peace out.
See, I'll tell you what, people think that it's perfectly random that I have Dick on when he calls, but it is part of my larger plan, and according to that dude there, sounds like it's working. There's Dave, right? It's part of my larger plan to put the customers at ease, because how many times have we talked to somebody and they go, they're either audibly nervous or they say they're nervous.
Right.
It's my way of putting them at ease. If a guy like Dick, who will absolutely call with no thoughts whatsoever, there's no narrative thread, there's no whatever.
He doesn't even get the stuff right he likes to talk about.
Right. I mean, I get whiplash trying to follow him. And he's perfectly harmless, which is why I have him on. And I don't like spending too much time with, there's other shows, because he calls every show. There's other shows he'll call, and they'll just hang up on him. They won't. At least I try to
fade him out at least.
I mean, I try to be polite. You fade him out. Yeah, I've got my little tricks. Other people, they'll just say, hey, later. Whatever. They take him for granted. And I do too. I won't lie to you. I take him for granted. He'll eventually call again, right? But the number of people who will leave me messages and go, when I hear him, I turn it off. Well, that's a test, and you failed, because he's not going to be joining us for very long. And then by that time, you will have forgotten that you were listening, and you're gone for the day. Maybe to come back the next day. I don't know.
We have some good little moments with him from time to time.
From time to time. But I don't count on those, right? No. Anything with Dick, we've kind of stumbled into it occasionally, but I don't count on those. But for Dave or anybody like, enough of that. For Dave or anybody, as much as I love the Foggy Mountain Boys, anybody like that, I want to put them at ease. I want him to know. Now, that does not, Dick, in my role here as Pope of the show, I have many hats. One of them is a mitre. I'm Captain Fun. Of course, my name. I'm also the Pope of the show. And as such, there's kind of special dispensation with Dick when he calls. Because it's not like we're going to have a conversation with him. He just, I'm listening for little things that maybe I can pick up on and lead him down that road. But that would require him to listen to us. And I don't think that happens. I think one of these days I'm going to find a way to have Poundcake spend a day shadowing Dick. Right? Just what's your morning routine? What do you have a grid of all of the radio stations' hotlines that you then call in order? Because he famously calls sports shows.
Well,
And
I think
I hear from our audience that when he calls other stations, they just treat him terribly
yeah,
because they're whatever.
they're fed up with him.
My thought has always been, if you're going to treat somebody poorly, why take the call at all?
Right.
I'm not putting anybody on just to dick with them, if you'll pardon the pun. But listen. So maybe one of these days we'll have Poundcake shadow dick.
Why?
You missed it. Sorry. You were out doing something.
You think I'm just leaving because I want to? I was supposed to be meeting Scott and Rachel out there, but I don't know where they are.
Don't you get a thing when somebody's here?
What thing? I don't get.
Don't you get a notification? How do you know when people are here?
We usually just have them text us.
I don't get.
They have that iPad out there. I don't know how to use that. I don't know how to set up an appointment.
What? I get like an email or something?
Yeah, we should set you up for that, actually.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah, yeah, because like if somebody's in the lobby and their face gets on that thing,
But they can't even get into that part. That's why it doesn't matter.
They have to be
you
beamed
have
into
to
the door.
you have to get buzzed in first.
No, the outside door's open.
No, it's not.
During business hours?
It's
Yes, it
not.
is.
No, the outside door of iHeartRadio
Oh,
is.
the building.
But the building door you have to get in.
Gotcha.
So you can't even get to that little vestibule.
Gotcha.
Until we let you in. So it's just easier to have people text us or
How's everybody
message
else
us.
getting in?
Everybody,
How are
that's
homeless
how.
guys getting in?
They probably. Oh, I
Go
guess
to
I
the
shouldn't
restaurant?
say. I probably shouldn't say.
Well, no, you can't get in. That one's locked too. They're locked at either end.
But homeless people aren't getting it. I haven't seen homeless people getting in. Have you?
A couple of weeks ago, there was a guy that was trapped in the airlock there, and I'm like, "Are you here to see somebody?" And he's like, "Zibbity bobbity boo." And I was like, "Okay."
Yeah, you think
If you're not here to see me, I'll toss you to somebody else. But
you know I wasn't going to poop.
I would have been like, Jeremiah, your guest is here.
It's too early for that. But homie's out there like 20 to 9. And I don't want to ignore the guy.
Yeah.
I mean, not everybody dresses. Some people walk around who are gainfully employed. They look homeless. I don't want to assume anything. I thought, maybe it was a guy had a hard time. Maybe he was here to meet somebody.
Oh, my God.
And I was like, "Are you here? How can I help you?" Zabba-da-ga-da-da-boo. I'm like, okay. Well,
I don't know what it is. I have the worst timing out of anybody here because whenever there is a guest that needs to be checked in, they're here for some interview or an internship or whatever. They always find me. Like I'll be walking in.
You have a friendly face.
I don't have a friendly face, and I don't even have like a friendly walk. I walk fast, really fast, and I'm walking into the building from our back entrance, by the way. And there's a family out there. We're here to see so and so. I'm like, I don't even know who that is. What station are they on? Yeah, I don't know. No, you can't go in there. No, let me ask them.
Can we just go in the studio?
So then I have to be rude. And
how do they not know who they're here to see?
They say a name, and I don't know. They expect me to just be like, "Oh, he's so and so." I'm like, I don't know who that is. He's on in the afternoon. I'm like, I'm on in an afternoon. Like no one knows who I am. I don't know.
But there's a finite number of people on in the afternoon. There's Leanne. There's us. There's Jeremiah. There's like 3 people on in the afternoon.
It happened to me.
Who are live and here.
It's happened to me 3 times exactly, and they have all been TAM people. And there's a million people on TAM.
Well, that's Bloom Daddy.
But I'm saying it's not always in the afternoon. But I'm saying they'll just say a name, and I don't know all the news people.
I see.
They're prominent or they know me. I talk to them on a regular basis. There's people here that have been here for years that I have never talked to ever.
Well, maybe you should. Maybe you should get to know them.
Yeah.
We got that iHeart Christmas party coming up, that holiday thing. We'll that's what we're going to do. Instead of you hunkering down and hanging out and talking to us, I'm going to march you around to the people you don't know.
Did we get a date nailed down for that yet?
I don't think so.
Okay.
If I say 50-50, it happens at all. But I'm gonna point to people and go, you know who that is? Nope. I'm going to march you right up.
You're not going to do that.
Remember when Geraldo worked here?
Gerardo?
Garargle? Not the guy who's trying to kill Smurfs.
That was Dick. He said, "Hello, Gararble." Do you remember that? You know what I'm talking
No. I talked to Gararble.
He called
No,
his
when
show.
Geraldo Rivera was doing the show at TAM a few years ago, he was at our Christmas party that year.
Yep.
And And he couldn't have been nicer. I mean, I'd already met him in the men's room.
I peed next to him once, and I got ignored by him twice. So that was cool.
Wait, peed next to him once. How do you know how many times you were ignored by a guy?
Because I only seen him 3 times, and the 2 times he was just in the vicinity. It's not like I said hi and he ignored me. I was just standing right there, and I was like, oh, yeah, that's Gerardo. Or Geraldo.
Gerardo.
Oh, and that's why I'm at the Christmas party. So 4 times.
Yeah.
4 times. 3 times being ignored, 2 times.
All
1
right.
time peeing next to him.
Yeah.
So I was cool. I was like, wow. So immediately, I feel like my phone goes off and it just pops up, Gerardo net worth. Like
Geraldo
net worth.
Rivera. Yes.
Yeah.
The legendary journalist.
So
His wife's from like Chagrin or something. So she dragged him out here. This poor guy. Okay, let me give you this money here. It's $1,000. It's courtesy of the Buzzard Bookie. Good luck.
This is your chance to bet with the Buzzard Bookie and win $1,000 now. Enter this nationwide keyword at WMMS.com. Cash. That's cash. Enter it now at WMMS.com.
There was a thing today. Daylight saving time starts. Does it start or end in the fall? I know the clocks go back.
I still don't know. Fall back.
Daylight saving time, I think, is when
Spring
they
ahead,
go
fall back.
forward. Yeah. Anyway, there's more and more chatter among the states of getting rid of daylight saving time or making it
Please.
permanent, whatever it is, right? So, 56 years ago, Congress blocked the states from permanently adopting daylight saving time. Well, now these states are like, it's time to figure it out. Now, I don't know if anybody pays attention to this or whatever, but there was a thing in the Plain Dealer today about some people who are trying to put forth a resolution in the state legislature to make daylight saving time permanent. And the line I loved was the guy who goes, I get more questions from constituents about daylight saving time than I do about, quote, important topics. And that's where we are now, is people like, hey, issue 1 on Tuesday, issue 2. Does anyone need clarity on a woman's right to control her own body? No, man, I won't stop changing the clocks.
Clock consistency.
Come on, man.
Now.
Let's talk about the important issues. Dinner table issues, man. I'm tired of turning on my clocks.
What do we want? Clock consistency.
When do we want it?
We don't know.
An hour
That's
ago.
the problem.
Oh, man. People ask me more about this than important topics.
What time of year is it?
Trouble is, these guys can't move the needle on important topics, so that's why you're in the state legislature going, all right, I guess let's take another crack at the clocks, since that's what our amazing electorate wants to talk about. So I think daylight saving time, because otherwise it's standard time, right?
Yeah.
Daylight saving time in the summer, where you get more daylight. And obviously these arguments go back and forth. They're like, this was done for farmers. There are still farmers, but that's kind of beside the point now. But for a lot of states, these things are kind of just making the rounds, but they're not seen as especially important. But the early 1900s is when we developed the time zones and mandated like standard time, I think. And then, there's a handful of states that don't recognize. My wife went to Indiana University. She's like, Indiana doesn't do daylight savings time. Hawaii and Arizona, I don't think, do it either. But everybody else does. But boy, this guy goes, I'm doing it because it's what listen, you've got to respond, for better or worse. You got to respond to what your constituents see as important. But when more people are, and what are the questions, by the way? I get more questions about this than about important topics, the guy said.
Well, that must make it an important topic.
What are the questions, though?
What are you doing about it?
Hey!
Why? What's taking so long? When is it? We always forget when it is. Is the bar going to be open an extra hour that night?
I mean, but that's the bar. That's not the state.
People will still
Call the
ask.
bar. Hey, man. Hey, listen, anytime a bar can stay open an extra hour to sell more stuff, they're going to do it.
Of course. Am
But
I going to be there? Probably not. I like to be home a little after midnight at the latest.
Uh-huh.
And that's even late. I got home last night after going to the game, and I was like, oh, I'm going to get in bed. And I was like, wait, it's 10 o'clock. It's not quite bedtime.
When is bedtime?
I usually around midnight.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I'm
I couldn't sleep last night.
12,
so I was
12 to 8 is about what I sleep.
Okay.
Usually wake up before 8, but I try to get to 8.
Gotcha. I'm going to take a break here, and then we're going to talk to Rachel Feinstein, who is here. She's doing tonight and tomorrow night at Hilarities. So we'll chop it up with her. I will also have those tickets for you. If you want to see that Mummies exhibition, they're doing at Playhouse Square. I'll get those for you shortly. And then a little bit later on, another $1,000 in the Buzzard bookie. 35192. Want to text me for anything else, and we'll be back.
The Alan Cox Show on 100.7 WMMS. And everywhere you go on our free iHeartRadio app.